You are listening to Beyond the Verse, a StarCitizen podcast. A show dedicated to Cloud Imperium games, StarCitizen, and Squadron 42. Whether you fight, explore, unite, and or trade, we bring you news, updates, interviews, reviews, and analysis. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a pour of Radagast, and join us as we go Beyond the Verse.
Launch sequence activated.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Beyond the Verse, StarCitizen podcast. I'm your host, Sulyce, and today's episode is 108, all things Alien Week. There's a major event going on right now, and that's right now the only thing to really talk about for the next hour, but we'll do some exciting pivots around the verse as we update you on the latest 4.2 information. It's in the PTU, but not for much longer, so we'll get into that. Yes, Alien Week, we have a giveaway we're going to announce very shortly in the next couple of minutes, as well as going behind that ship and watching the Behind the Ships video on it, the Q&A, and my reactions on its use in the verse in this current moment. We also have community events. We also have a StarCitizen event tomorrow here in Austin, Texas. So a lot to get through. I guess high level doesn't feel that way. Like, again, it's 2 or 3 items. But there is enough information. We'll make this as exciting of a podcast as we can. So welcome in, everybody. This is your first time listening to Beyond the Verse. We go beyond just the typical gameplay. We don't do like play sessions on YouTube for the most part. That will probably end up changing because there's a lot of desire to be in the community and see the social aspect of what we do. So that's being ideated on at this current moment. But for the most part, we get into like the news, the analysis. We bring on guests. We have in-depth conversations about the direction of this game, the good, the bad, the ugly. We don't shy away from criticism, but we try to do so in a professional and a courteous way, a constructive way. I would venture to say the majority of StarCitizen players are optimistic and they're excited, regardless of the ups and downs. Right. But again, we don't shy away. And I think we're going to hit some of those topics in the next couple of minutes. Yes, let's get into this. All right. This last week, actually a decent week, a very good week for me. Had a lot of progress at work, which is great, which means a little bit more time in the verse. So I want to first off discuss a really awesome thing we had in Soul Provision, which is our in-game community, where I opened up the t-shirt design for this Alien Week. And so I said, hey community, let's submit our designs. You get to create, you get to design the t-shirts for this Alien Week. Had some really awesome submissions, and we ended up landing the plane on something, landed the ship on something. I think that's more appropriate, right? Let's actually get into that. I want to show y'all just what the community created, and I encourage you, even if you're not like a Soul Provision member, it's a fun t-shirt, even though it has the Soul Provision logo on the sleeve. So here we go. Just like with any other thing you want to find about Beyond the Verse or Soul Provision, you go to our website. It's either beyondtheversehq.com or it is soulprovision.com. You're going to come here, and of course, you're going to come up to the shop, right? Shop, then you click on merch, and that's going to bring up this page and all of our shirts. The one that you see I'm currently wearing, there's a couple of other options as well that you get to choose from. A brand new polo, by the way. So if you're wanting to get a snazzy, nice looking polo, mine should be coming in the mail today. Hopefully mine comes in the mail today for me to wear at tomorrow's Austin StarCitizen. That would be nice, but here's this one, right? More polos, there's hoodies. I wish that hoodie is freaking comfortable. But anyways, here's the shirt. I thought this was a very awesome design by Grieved. So I just want to celebrate Grieved. Here we go. So it's and it's right on message. I think that's what's really, really, really cool about this. It's right on message. It is a silhouette of the Prowler. Not the Prowler Utility, I'm assuming, but the Prowler, the dropship, with soldiers or citizens dropping out on top of a worm. We're going to call that a worm. But dropping on top of a worm to be on the prowl, right? So cheeky words. It's on the prowl. It's obviously the Prowler, but I also like the sleeves. I ended up adding some sleeves to it. So on the left sleeve, you've got 2955 to really solidify like the year that this was done. And then of course the right sleeve, I got the Soul Provision logo. So wear the colors proud. Just wanted to showcase this as we do some fun things throughout the community. We continue to reach out to the community for those. So wanted to celebrate that. Next, let's get into the giveaway. So we will get more into the Esperia Prowler Utility later in the show, but we are giving that away. So again, beyondtheversehq.com, come here. You can go to podcast and go down to giveaway, or you can just do beyondtheversehq.com/giveaway. Either way, this is how you, or I guess a third way, you got the announcement bar here at the very top. Giveaway, Alien Week 2955, the Prowler. Click here. So we're going to do that in the announcements bar. And here's the giveaway. So CIG has given me the Prowler plus the latest livery, which again, I'll show you and we'll get into. LTI insurance and a digital copy of the StarCitizen game. Free for you. All you have to do is enter. So you have until next Thursday night. And on Friday, when we record episode 109, we will go through announcing the winner. So you're just going to come here. You're going to watch this very sexy 20-second video. I think it's really well done. I actually really like the design of the Prowler Utility. Like, before I get into too much of my reactions, I actually love the ship. It's designed very well. Looks really pretty. We'll get into its use later, but you can watch this video. The RSI username, guys, this is super important. It needs to be accurate. In the past, I have selected a winner and it has taken me days to communicate with this winner to figure out what their actual username was, because these things matter. When you give a gift that is over $300, you need the email address, you need the username, you need it all to be accurate. So copy and paste literally from the RSI website, give yourself a fighting chance. So RSI username, RSI email, go ahead and sign up for news and updates if you want to. We have yet to, in 6 months, ever send out an email. I have been scarred. I have been scarred by other websites and other, companies just abusing email addresses. But I think we're at a point where there's enough content to give like a monthly update, maybe a quarterly update through that email. But we will also start giving out codes for, like, if you want t-shirts, if you want hoodies or some merchandise, we'll give 5-10% off coupons in there as well. So sign up for that. If you want to get a shout out, put your X social media handle here. Again, if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. How'd you hear about us? And then there's an engagement question just for fun. And guys, have fun with it. I've gotten so many, like, as their response, it's like, why are you doing this? I run a podcast. It's to discuss, like, fun conversations and reactions to things. So the question is, you're Earth's envoy for First Contact Day. What's the one item from humanity you'd offer as a gift to represent us to the stars? It's kind of a dangerous question too, but you can put whatever you want to. Have fun with it, but it's to engage. It's to engage and have a conversation with the community as best as I can. So last but not least, I will always go through this. I'll try to remember to always go through this. We do have a philanthropy in 2025 or 2955 with Extra Life, specifically to the Dell Children's Hospitals. And it's 100% pass through. I don't see a dime of it, but you're going to go to give. You're going to click on Extra Life, and that's going to shoot you over to the page. So you're not even giving money to our page. It goes straight to Extra Life. And again, everything goes towards critical treatment, healthcare services, pediatric medical equipment, etc. We've already raised $1,300 against a goal of $5,000. I think that's like 26%. I calculated that kind of a while ago. But yeah, guys, there's a lot to do on the website. We're going to continue to iterate and make this a good landing page for anything that you want as far as Beyond the Verse and Soul Provision goes. Okay, staying with the community. Oh, I forgot to hit my button. Hey, can I hit my button, guys? I want to hit my button. I want to do it. Here we go.
Incoming message.
I bought a Stream Deck a long time ago. I have it. Might as well use it. Okay, to the Spotify polls and to the comments section. Here we go. We have quite a lot to get through, but obviously a really good conversation. So I asked you, which part of StarCitizen 4.2 are you most excited for? In episode 107, we dove really deep into 4.2. We talked about the updates, what to expect, the mission sets, the sandbox activities. And again, there was many attributes or many characteristics of 4.2. And so 69.2% of you say dynamic weather. You guys are in for the weather. You can't wait to see it. I am nervous about how that's going to affect our flying. Being able to see, like in real life, to be fair, in real life, it is hard to see when it rains. But at least in real life, you have windshield wipers, right? I mean, you have a chance to see, but with the in-cockpit lighting, Drake, I'm thinking of you, with the in-cockpit lighting reflecting off the window, already making night flying kind of difficult. Now you've got thunder and water and chaos happening on your windshield. I can't wait to see what that actually looks like. I have purposefully stayed out of the PTU. For many reasons. I think y'all know how I feel about a PTU for a PTU for a PTU. So I try to stay out of it as much as I can, unless it's just something massive like 4.0. I'll get into it, of course, and be in it with you guys. But I try to stay out when I can. So I can't wait to experience it for the first time, just like you can't. 15.4% of you say the new locations, and then a tie of 7.7% with mission updates and new enemies. And none of y'all care about the gameplay updates. That's fine. That's fine. Let's go to the comment section, guys. All right. We have 11 to go through. A lot of reactions to what I said last week. So we had an inquiry that I think hit home for a lot of people, myself included, had an emotional moment. So for that, I guess I apologize. But I'm going to stick by everything I said. But a lot of good feedback. I think at the end of the day, the whole point, if you don't want to listen to 107, the whole point is if you're not a welcoming community, then you're not a community worth going into. I'll leave it at that. I said some other choice words, but here we go. Let's go through 11. I need to give you that context because all 11 comments kind of refer to it. So here we go. Grieved writes, as always, great show. As far as soul provision inclusivity goes, they are seriously the best. I honestly figured I would be flying solo in StarCitizen forever. Sulyce and Beyond the Verse brought me to soul provision, and I am so grateful. Some of the best times I've had in an MMO in the last decade or more. The Soul officers are great, members are awesome and helpful, and the org night insanity is always so much fun. I just wish I had more playtime. On another note, I am so excited for the Perseus and the Pally. Grieved is also the designer of our Alien Week theme t-shirt. So there you go. All right, let's keep going. I would respond to each one of these. I would, but I don't want to spend too much time. Other than that, I agree with you, Grieved. All right, Cody Laneship. Just wanted to say how much I truly love the podcast. What really sets you apart is the inclusion, the respect, and the acceptance that you and your entire community embody. It's honestly one of the main reasons I wanted to join Soul Provision so badly. The positivity you bring is infectious, and it really shows in everything you do. Your comment regarding autism hit home for me in a big way, and I just want to thank you for approaching it with such understanding and empathy. It means more than you know. Yep. I have had I have not had to deal or parent or face the barriers, the challenges that autism can bring. But I have friends that do, and I have friends that they have autism. So I can relate, absolutely can relate. I cannot relate. if it is a child, if it is, a family member that you had to accommodate for. So it's one of those things where it's like, I can't relate, so I shouldn't speak to it in that way, but I just can't imagine what parents, are having to go through. I talk to you all the time about my kids, my son, and such a brilliant dude. He's such a smart dude. Struggles sometimes in school, right? And just seeing kind of that ADD, like the a little bit of the attention deficit, or it's just a plain 9-year-old, who knows at this point. But I just that alone, that small little thing that we have to deal with, is deep, and the conversations that my wife and I have are deep, and decisions we have to make. So I can't even imagine, right, things beyond just my son's, ability to keep focused. So I try, and I think that's the point, is when you can't understand it, when you can't relate to it, are you at least trying? Are you at least trying to get out of your four walls and realize that there's life outside of your experience? And when you do start realizing that, I don't know, you end up getting 11 comments on a podcast. So, all right, Jason Funk. It's not fun turning in script. Yeah, I'll speak on that in a second. It's not fun turning in script. I've taken a break from the game the last 2-ish weeks after being completely burnt out trying to turn in scripts or farm helmets. Those are the Ace pilot helmets. There are too many RNG gates to jump through in order to successfully collect a full suit of armor. Increase the tournament requirements by 5 and give full sets of armor instead of hoping to get whatever piece you're missing each time. I'll be staying away from it's Wikelo, until there's a bit of an overhaul with how those turn-ins work. I agree with you. Last episode, we talked about my experience turning in script, and it was not fun. I mean, it's so complicated. And I get like the hangar system and the freight elevator. I get that's like somewhat new, relatively new to the rest of the game, but they're using that to turn in quest missions, and it's already funky, right? Like it's already got its nuances, but to turn in something you worked hours to get through that mechanism is pretty difficult. And again, I don't know if I have the solution. I don't know if you can just turn it in through your inventory instead of having to pull out your inventory, put it in the freight elevator. Or, man, what did I do? I actually went to the freight elevator. I dropped the freight elevator, put all my script on the freight elevator, called it up, and then sent it right back down so it would count as a turn in. That's way too many steps, guys, right? That's way too many steps. There should be something easier. Don't know what that looks like. We can ideate on it later, but I fully agree with you. Dreamer of Days. To Captain Boredom. So Captain Boredom was the individual that wrote the email. To Captain Boredom, as someone diagnosed with ADHD and suspected autism, I've always felt welcome. The only reason I'm not on more is because being an adult sucks. Amen. The research lab stuff in 4.2 sounds right up my alley. The mutated creatures, the audio logs, etc. brings a horror element to StarCitizen that I'm really excited to see. It seems very Alien or Lovecraft meets Metal Gear. That's actually really good. It's a really good comparison. Maybe in a few years, my kids will be independent enough I can actually play the damn game. Yeah, parenting. Yes. Okay. So a lot to look forward to in 4.2. There's a lot of individuals on social media that are just destroying this sandbox activity, and I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying that it ends up becoming a gank fest or spawn camping. Like, there are issues with the upcoming Stormbreaker event or activity. I get it. But it's still something completely new to do. And I don't know, it's going to feel completely different. And I agree with you. It's going to bring something very, I guess horror is a really good kind of approach to it. But like, the unknown and not knowing what's around corners, whether it's a PvP, character or player, or some freaking dog that has a green horn sticking out of its face. um, in the worms and the different display cases. Like it just has a really good design, in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to it, regardless of the negative feedback. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Shadow Ranger. Shadow Ranger writes, thank you for taking time to do these. I always look forward to listening while I'm mowing the lawn. Yep. Just be careful because you might have a kid running behind you and you don't want a lawnmower over little Timmy. So listening while mowing the lawn or on transports for work. I'm very excited to hear the Apollos are likely coming soon. I have the medevac pledged and I am ready for combat rescues. I just hope they also release more medical content with it, such as medical rescue missions. Medical gameplay will likely be my main game loop. Hopefully the drones will work, but since none of the other drones in the game work, I'm not holding my breath. Hey, listen, if you are new to StarCitizen, or hell, even if you're tenured with StarCitizen, don't ever hold your breath for anything. You will die here in StarCitizen. No, I don't think drones, I think, I don't know. My opinion is that the ship would have to launch without the drone functionality, which is the whole point of that model. But I don't know. I don't know if in the past they have released ships without their game loop. So who knows? I think we'll still see it. I think we'll see it in IAE because of how close it is out of Gray Box. But I don't think we'll see the drones. I don't think we're there yet. So yeah, don't hold your breath. It's dangerous. All right, Corrupted Data. All right, Corrupted Data writes, I also called in last Friday. Sometimes you just need a day. Man, I need like a week, brother. I need like a week. Hell, I need a month. And that's not just being lazy. It's just I have been going like balls to the wall for freaking, I don't know, 6 years. But that's Amazon. All right, Soundwave Ghost. Great episode as always. Was nice flying Polaris Nun in the prior to mining event, prior to the mining event, and just as much fun chilling on a laser for the past one. Group play can certainly make the mundane-ish tasks in StarCitizen come alive. Dude, I just butchered your message. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, again, I welcome janitorial game loops. I don't know. Put me on a freaking javelin, give me a mop and broom, and I will gladly clean the hallways of our javelin. Like, I think it's as long as it's with group, right? As long as we're on Discord, as long as there's 25, 40 of us, on comms talking, like you can make literally anything in StarCitizen fun. So yes, I agree. Groza writes, Wikelo's a dog. I love his new outfits, but damn, did he do me in trouble dirty while we've been grinding for some of his pretties. But that doesn't, oh my God, guys, I need to like reset. But that desert gold paint is so good. I hope you are well, Sulyce. The Queen's Guard sends its regards. We stand at the ready for all of your ass kicking and ice cream related needs. Groza. There's a lot of inside stories out of that post. But yes, another issue with Wikelo and turning in script and all the different items, and he eats your shit and sometimes doesn't give credit and doesn't give the item that you're looking. It's just bad. It's just a bad experience right now. And Groza and Trouble, unfortunately got hit really hard this past week. So my apologies, buddy. Keep fighting the good fight. Dakota Riley. Captain Boredom, while I may not know your life story, I can relate to you as someone who is on the spectrum with diagnosed Asperger's. You are always welcome in Soul Provision. I hope you find a home organization that accommodates you and where you can find some true friends in this game. We are the right home for you. Alien Week is going to be bigger than ever this year. I'm eager to hear more about the teased Prowler variant, which we know at this point is the utility. Loving the recent uptick in reusing older hulls for new purposes. Yes. Okay. So that last comment. So I agree with you in like giving a hull. Man. Okay. I do like the versatility of like taking a Prowler that is a drop ship that's had its issues in the past and making it a cargo variant. But here's what I wish. I wish they leaned more into the modularity. Like think Retaliator. Yeah, the Retaliator hull, but when you're in your hangar, you can change out the guts of the Retaliator to what you need. Like, is it a missile room? Is it a cargo room? I kind of wish they would stop like giving us an entirely new hull that we have to spend $300 on. I would have much rather had them taken the Prowler dropship and given us the modularity of being able to like turn off the dropship, which doesn't really have a use in the game at this current moment, and turn on like a cargo space for it. Now, again, I know some of these like that requires a different setup, maybe like a different designed hull. Like it can't always be so nice as a copy and paste with different guts, a different interior. But I think the Retaliator did it right. And I think the Galaxy is going to do it right when it comes out. I prefer to have one hull and pay for multiple modules. So that's my preference. I don't see them leaning into it. I see them giving you an entirely new ship, like the utility, and the only difference really being like it's cargo now, which by the way is only 32 SEU. I keep teasing in my opinions. We will get to that towards the end of the show, but the 32 SCU is like a gut punch. Yeah, let's just keep going. I'll leave it there. Chai Dog writes, I just started tuning into these podcasts and they are truly awesome. As someone who has a younger brother who is severely autistic, I really appreciate what you said to that email. That speaks volumes. You'd be surprised how rare that level of non-tolerance is nice for BS, and the lack of acceptance when it comes to disabilities in general, but in gaming for sure. I've been looking for an org to call home. While it may not affect me directly, knowing the values at the helm, I may have found one. You have found one, dude. And again, I can't reiterate enough. Like it's a no strike policy. This ain't baseball. This ain't baseball. This is just being a good human being. You fuck that up, you're out of the org. Like I have zero tolerance. I love every single member. We have over 300 members in our org. I have spent time talking to some individuals like in private. I'm going to keep it there. I'm not going to like give any details where like they just have moments, and they had a moment that came out and I'm like, you're blurring the line. You're getting really close. You're towing that line of being inappropriate. And it's a great professional adult conversation. And it's like, hey, Roger that. And we pick up and we keep going. But the moment you cross that line, I will not sacrifice the family for one person. So there you go. Bravo Wine. Did I almost forget to add my comment? Great episode as always, or like usual. Almost thought you forgot to go over the news about the Perseus, but was user error on my end. Also, dig the new shirts that dropped on the website. Can't wait to pick up one. Yeah, mine comes soon. I of course designed. Well, I didn't design it. My community designed it, but when I submitted it to our manufacturer, I immediately ordered one. It said that it shipped. It usually takes 2 to 3 days, so I'm like, I don't know. It could be today. It could be tomorrow. I think either way, I'm going to wear my polo if it comes in for tomorrow's Austin Bar Citizen. But I don't know. It depends. It depends on if it gets here, how nice it is. I think it's going to be good. So there you go. I'm having hiccups. Good Lord. Always on podcasts. So if you want to become part of the conversation, also email us. We didn't have any emails today, but go into the polls in the comment section in Spotify and then write us an email. That's contact@beyondtheearthshq.com. Again, if you go to the website, there is a contact link that you can click on. It opens up your email. Boom, done. Okay, this week in StarCitizen. Again, guys, there's not a lot of topics from here. It's Alien Week and it's a ship, but we'll get through some news. All right. So hello, everyone. I can't read freaking Alien, so I'm not going to do that. But hello, everyone. Last week was full of fresh updates. We released our bi-weekly roadmap update, offering a closer look at our progress and goals for Alpha 4.2.0, alongside the May monthly report, packed with valuable insights directly from your development teams. On the video front, a new episode of Inside StarCitizen aired, highlighting some of the thrilling content headed your way in 4.2. We also dropped the latest patch watch, shining a light on upcoming fixes and improvements that may not appear in the public roadmap, but are worth being on your radar. And to wrap it up all in style, we kicked off our Show Us Your Colors contest, a vibrant celebration of self-expression, creativity, and the community that makes it all shine. We can't wait to see what you bring to the canvas. On the bar, well, that made me sorry. We can't wait to see what you bring to the canvas, and I immediately thought of Expedition 33. Like, I'm sorry, guys, this is not a podcast about that game, and I probably bring it up all the time. But my lord, that is a phenomenal game. I've gotten through Act 3. I'm not going to release any information after that because it spoils everything. But now I'm just exploring, having a good time. My son and I are doing it together. It's just a beautiful, beautiful game. Okay, back to StarCitizen. On the Bar Citizen front, Toronto, you absolutely showed up this weekend. Huge thanks to the Ministry org for hosting such an incredible event, and to everyone who came out and brought that unmatched community energy. Getting to connect in person, share our love for the verse, talk ship, and witness your creativity in person is always something we truly cherish. Up next, Manchester, Austin, Montreal, and Frankfurt. We can't wait to meet even more of you during the International Bar Citizens. For all the details, dates, and locations, be sure to check out the Bar Citizen World Tour 2025 link. All right, cool picture. Let's see what's going on this week. Bullet points. So there is a StarCitizen Live for vehicle flight balance. I actually I did not have the time to watch that. I probably will at some point today. My friends that have watched it, there was nothing really groundbreaking. There's nothing really aha or things that I absolutely needed to discuss on this podcast, but I'm still going to watch it anyways. I think it's going to be good information. But they're answering your questions. It's a Q&A. So they're answering questions from the community. And again, I asked my friends who did watch it if there's anything worth going to, and they said probably not for the show. We had Alien Week 2955 obviously drop yesterday. Behind the Ships. We'll watch together here in the next couple of minutes. Saturday, again, join me in Austin. I think it's 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Let's just click on it. But it's at Pinballs over on Highway 183 in Austin. So stand by. Good Lord. Austin, Texas. It is 6 p.m. So June 14th, that is Saturday, 6 p.m. at Pinballs Lake Creek. So there you go. All right. Then Sunday, International Bar Citizen in Frankfurt. And that is it, guys. So I don't know. We spent almost 40 minutes talking through the community and all of that. The rest of this is going to go pretty quick. So I don't want to delay it and just add shit to be adding it. But I don't know. I'll do the best I can. So here we go. Low hanging fruit. Here is your 4.2 notes. Now I will say, I can't go onto the Avocado channel to show you because I don't want to break any NDA nonsense. So I'm not going to show you that. But on the message of the day, this is it. There are no more PTU patches. So, before the release candidates. So this is it. Yesterday was the last PTU patch before the release candidates. And so we can expect maybe this weekend, I could imagine an RC hitting today and it going through nicely. And maybe even tonight or Saturday, we can see 4.2 in the verse. They've done weekend patch releases before, but since we are this close and going through RCs, I could almost guarantee you that 4.2 will be live as of Monday, right? Or before Monday. So that'll give us, and that makes sense, right? Because a lot of the new Alien Week items you can't play with or see until 4.2 drops. So they kind of want to get 4.2 up and running as fast as possible. So here we go. If you've been listening to this podcast, you know what's testing, right? You know what's happening in the PTU. But here we go. So stability, thank God. Stormbreaker, all the phases of Stormbreaker. The Lazarus facility freight elevators are now live. I think it's been live for a couple patches now, but that's been something that we've been kind of waiting on. So awesome. The Apex Valacar, the Dynamic Rain Radiation, the Volt Laser Shotgun. You've got the new Argo Atlases, so the IKTI. New Wikelo ship editions, new hairstyles, and the Sterling Exploration suit. So features and gameplay specific to this patch update, the Stormbreaker and ASD locations were polished. Further Rain was polished. And then for core tech, ships and vehicles, reworked the angle constraints of the Polaris front turret to not clip. That's always nice. And then the core tech, further global and Stormbreaker server performance optimizations, Area 18 traffic, CPU to GPU conversion updates, and further 3D comms call visual polish pass. A lot of bug fixes, some technical fixes. Very cool. All right. So this is it. I don't know. Like I can't wait for 4.2. We already talked about it last episode, but we're so close. I also really need this to happen, and I need it to reset my Idris. Guys, I named it. Oh, I guess here's some news. So I was able to name my Idris, like as everybody else has been able to up to this point. I thought for sure that my desired name was going to be taken because it's a very common name. Like if you go into really any character creation game, Diablo, World of Warcraft, New World, Azrael is always taken. Azrael's the angel of death, right? So, I mean, you can imagine that is a very common name. And so the Idris, like its sole purpose is to bring down the hammer, right? And so when I think of like the Javelin, I was going to name the Javelin, the Soul Provisions Javelin. I was going to name that Azrael, but as I thought more about it, the Javelin's more of like your base of operations. So I have a different name picked out for the Javelin now, but the Idris is dropping the hammer. You're going and you're executing. You are God's judgment or God's wrath. Hell, that's a cool name, God's wrath, right? There, I just gave you an idea for your Idris. But for me, Azrael was like, I wanted that. I wanted the angel of death. I wanted, when people saw Azrael, they were like, oh shit, stay away from that guy, right? A name that invokes that kind of, fear. And I got it. Like, I'm really, really, really happy that my Idris will forever be known as Azrael. However, I had the kit, the Javelin kit, the K kit and the T kit. I had both kits kind of mixed and intermingled on my Idris P. And so I lost everything when I named it, right? So when you name it, it like resets the instance of that ship, but anything that was customized on that ship is gone. It's disappeared. And that's been the case for a very long time. I just forgot. I forgot to take everything off before I named it. I was more interested in naming than I was preserving the ship's assets. And so unfortunately, I don't have anything that I paid for beyond the Idris P. And so I'm really hoping 4.2's reset. It's not resetting inventory. It's not like in the way that it has in the past. That's not what I'm saying. I just hope that consolidation that happens every patch, where it kind of brings all your inventory and puts it into your primary residence, resets your ships where you have to, claim them and call them. My hope is that addresses the issue. Hopefully. Because I really want to get back in my Idris. But if I don't have my paint, right, the livery that I wanted, isn't available, like, oh, I'm so frustrated. So yeah, hopefully you took your stuff off when you named your Idris. I did not. Alien Week, let's go. In the past, Alien Week has not been my cup of tea. I have never really been that into the alien ships. It's just not me, not for any like particular reason. It's just not, it wasn't my thing. I really liked, Origin, Aegis, Anvil. Like I like the human, designs or manufacturers, But the alien stuff just seemed kind of hokey to me, kind of like, yeah. And they haven't really been good at what they do. Right? So like, the glaive. The glaive is a medium ship that you can, if you do the Vandal Swarm and get to round 25, you unlock the ability to buy the glaive. But like, really think hard before you buy it, because it's kind of worthless. It's not a good medium fighter. You only get like 21 shots off, and so you're always running out of ammo. You're always finding yourself outmaneuvering, or spending more time trying to outmaneuver your enemy than actually like hitting it, putting rounds on target. So I don't know. If that's your thing, go for it. But there's just better ships. For that kind of money, there's better ships out there. So hopefully there's rework. Hopefully we already know there's a design rework. We already know that that's coming down the pipeline, but hopefully a rebalancing and giving us a fighting chance. So the relevance, there you go. Like the relevance of alien ships have been kind of worthless. So another example, right? The Prowler, an amazing drop ship, like aesthetically, but it hasn't worked for a long time. There's been a lot of issues with it. And for me, you know this about me, beds are important. I like being able to log out of my ships that I spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on. This one doesn't have it. Like this dropship does not have one, where the Valkyrie does. Again, I don't want to get into the argument of the Valkyrie versus the Asgard, but the Asgard has bedding. The Valkyrie has bedding, it has a kitchenette, has the ability to sustain and all that stuff. Prowler has none of that. So with that kind of money, $440 to get the Prowler, there's just better drop ships. So again, Alien Week up to this point has been kind of like it's just not exciting for me. This year, it's starting to grow on me. Not necessarily the ship relevance, because I still think they lack, but I think the designs, the paint jobs, or the liveries, I think those are starting to grow on me. I'm really digging, I think it's the lunar paint. We'll get to that here in a second. It's called something, but this year's alien paint looks amazing. It looks really good. You're seeing it on the screen right now in the background. It's very well done. I like the colors. I like it almost feels like organic or terrestrial. The animations are always really good on alien ships. Again, it's starting to grow on me. Yesterday, I got into my Prowler for the first time in, I don't know, years. I got into my Prowler and I went into third person and I dropped the landing gear, pulled out the landing gear, kind of zoomed around it again, just enjoy the ambience that comes with that ship. And it's not matched in any human ship. Walking onto a Prowler and then seeing just the red glow, it feels like you're inside of an alien body, right? And then getting into the cockpit, and it has the Mirai Fury MX kind of visuals where like you can't see out of the front until you turn everything on, and then it digitally dissolves. And you can, then you can see. It's just very cool. It's very cool. It's a very awesome experience. So it's growing on me. Let's get through some of the things that you can expect in this event. And it's a Luminary. That's the paint livery, by the way. All right. Extraterrestrial fare and frivolity. Over half a millennium since first contact with the Banu, humanity continues to honor the extraterrestrials who have helped shape our destiny among the stars. Join us as we celebrate Alien Week and with Esperia's first cargo hauler, otherworldly ship paints, a gastronomic contest, and bar citizen events in each of our home cities around the world. The alien aesthetics. So here's your Luminary paint. Again, I think they did a really good job on this year's. To mark the lasting friendship with our deep space allies, we're painting the galaxy alien style. Check out the new iridescent Luminary paints for your favorite Apoa and Esperia ships, available in the upcoming Alpha 4.2 Stormbreaker and available on the PTU today. Plus, catch the limited time return of the Harmony Oculus, and Wonder paints. All right. And again, that point about it not being available until 4.2. So again, we have an Alien Week going on right now. It's live as of yesterday, but the paints and the ship, the utility is not available. Right? That's why I think it could possibly happen later today, if not Saturday. All right, we have a community contest, the Wikelo's 9 Tastes contest. Stanton's newest tastemaker, Wikelo, challenges you to whip up your most delectable concoction using as many of the Banu's 9 tastes as possible. Enter now for the chance to win some of the Verse's most coveted alien-inspired ships. We'll go through the details here in a second. Here is your Prowler Utility. Again, it guts out the drop ship and puts in a 32 SCU cargo container or grid square. Alien Alliances. Again, this is the item that you can get when you go to an International StarCitizen event. It's this holographic, excuse me, I just hit the mic. It's like a holographic face of one of the alien races. Here are your 3 paint jobs, and this always takes a while to load. I don't know why. You have to like scroll all the way down, and then once you scroll back up, there we go. See, that's weird. I'm glad y'all saw that happen. Here's the luminary paints. So each one of the paints, well, it's a different price. So the Sulyce's price is $5. The Talon's price is $7. The Prowler's paint is $16. And you can get the pack of 3 for $23.80. So there you go. Here's the previous one. I'm going to call it the Oculus, or I'll call it the Oculus. I don't know. It's probably wrong. So Nox $5, Sulyce $5, the Talon $7, and of course, well, the Cartu all, the Defender, Xi'an, the Prowler. There was a lot of ships that had previous paints. Then the Harmony paint, the Nox, the Sulyce, the Talon, the Cartu all, the Defender, the Xi'an, and the Prowler. So, and then the Wanderer. So like, I guess my question, well, the Wanderer only had 4. So we have the Nox, Talon, Defender, the Prowler. So the Wanderer had 4, but the rest of these had a lot more than this year's only 3. Huh, why is there only 3 this year? Anywho, here is your gear and extras. So if you're a subscriber, you can get the Wikelo Emporium pack, which you can always get these things. I think it's just bringing it like on the landing page to remind you that it's here. So if you're a subscriber, there's some Banu t-shirts, there's the Wikelo Imperium pack, and then there's some alien themed gear. So just again, a reminder, it's always in the gear store, but a reminder that these exist. So you've got this CCC Avis armor and helmet, the Avis Talon armor. You've got the Xanthul Ascension, which is a beautiful, beautiful gear set. Some Xanthul flight suits. Then you got some very expensive alien complete packs if you're concierge. So if you have $3,000, you can get every single alien ship in the game. Sure. I wonder how many people actually do that. Like, is that the pack you want? Of all the packs, if you had $3,000, like, is that the one you want? I don't know. Let me know if your thing is alien ships. You also have access to 13 vehicles to buy in the pledge store. Let's just go through all 13 very quick. And most of these will get a redo. When 4.2, good Lord, when Squadron 42 comes out, you'll see all the new designs. It's very sexy. There's videos on YouTube that showcase like the new versions of these ships. By all means, go and research it. I don't know how much that is still valid. That video that is officially by CIG was years ago, like many years ago. So I don't know if the design has changed much. You can watch the Squadron 42 play demo, that happened this past CitizenCon. I think those are the new ships. They looked like the new ships, but the ones out in the StarCitizen universe right now are not the end state. So here's the Blade, the Defender, which I think is actually a really awesome ship, quite honestly. The Glaive, which again, you can get access to the Glaive if you complete the Vandal Swarm. I think it's a really well done ship. Really quick, I think it's sexy when you switch between your guns and your missiles, like literal blades right here. that I'm circling with my mouse, literal blades come out. And so you can imagine like ramming into a ship with your blades extended. Pretty awesome, in my opinion. Here's the Cartu All. Here's the Merchantman, which I'm not gonna, whatever. It's never gonna happen, guys. All right, Nox, the Prowler Utility. Look at that price tag, $300. The Raylan, the Santoki, the Sulin, the Talon Shrike, and back to the Blade. We got some upgrade specials to the Banu Defender, and here's your Banu Merchantman upgrade. Man, it's so sad, the whole story. If you're new to StarCitizen, there is just a meme of the Banu Merchantman. You'll see BMM thrown out like on general chat and any type of StarCitizen community. You're going to see it. It's never going to happen. This is a very long time coming ship. It's a merchant ship, right? So obviously the game loop for owning your own storefronts is not out yet, but that should not stop them. There are other ships like the 890 Jump. There are other ships whose game loops are not out, and yet they still released it. So any exploration ship, right? The Carrack has a drone room, yet they released the Carrack. I don't know what to tell you guys. I think the Banu Merchantman is just one of those ships that we're never going to see. Okay. Onto Spectrum again. With every comms post, right, we always get a Spectrum post with it as well. I prefer these. It's more succinct information, so everything we literally just said is right here in one little square. I freaking love it. So make sure you come check this out. A lot of good information here. I didn't really see anything that wasn't in the other. So, okay, we can move on. Here is the details to the Wikelo's 9 Tastes contest. So, you need something salty, savory, sweet, pungent, bitter, hot, cold, soft, and crunchy. So, using those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just making sure it didn't look like 9, okay? But using these 9 items in the 9 taste contests, make your own concoction. Have at it. Let's talk about the wins or the prizes. So in first place, you get the Esperia Prowler Utility, the in-game ship with the LTI and Luminary paint. In second place, you get the Santoki with the Oculus and Harmony paints. And then in third place, you get the Esperia Talon with LTI and Luminary paint. So go for it. I'm not a cook. But, I bet if I went to, I've got friends that are. I wonder if they would be interested in participating. More to come. I'm actually thinking about that now. Teaming up with a friend of mine. All right, behind the ships. Witness the rebirth of Esperia's unmistakable Tavern-inspired silhouette, now blending stealth, style, and utility for cargo hauling. Okay, before we get into behind the ships, this is a lot of money for 32 SCU. But the stealth aspect of it is very intriguing. Like, I'm thinking smuggling. I'm thinking piracy. But here's the deal, though. Like, when you're a smuggler, like, when I think of the smuggle game loop, when I think of that game loop, I think like the Mercury Star Runner, right? Like, I think of the secret compartment, like when you go up the ramp into the garage, you hit that right, and there's like a whole underside compartment or rooms where you can stow away or you can hide bodies or you can, whatever. Like that to me is the game loop, right? This, like, you wouldn't really want to, expose your cargo, right? Like if you're trying to hide cargo going from point A to point B, I mean, just look at the image. You can't really hide that, unless that closes around. I don't know. We're gonna watch the video together, but I think the stealth thing is interesting, but it's also, I don't know. You expose what you're trying to hide. The tractor beam is interesting, right? You and the co-pilot, you don't have to get up from your seats. You can use the tractor beam. It's in a very peculiar location. Excuse my language, but it's in a very it's in a very phallic location. I'll leave it there. If you don't know what that word means, look it up. But I don't know. It's a very interesting place. Like, it already looks organic. Like it already looks like a bird. And so they put the freaking tractor beam in a very interesting location. All right. With that note, let's actually watch the video together, and then we'll get into some Q&A about the ship and go from there. So here we go, guys.
The Prowler Utility is a brand new dedicated cargo ship with enhanced stealth abilities.
It trades some of its combat.
All right, so that video alone right there shows that it does actually hide. It hides the cargo. So there you go. Like always, I am willing to change my opinion on things. So as long as you can hide the cargo, which it looks like you can, okay, I see this stealth being a definite advantage.
Capabilities for more industrial uses.
If you don't want to get detected doing your cargo runs, this is the perfect ship.
This ship is for someone who wants to do cargo, who wants to remain stealthy, and who wants to look sick doing it.
The Prowler Utility is different from the baseline Prowler.
Because we had to carve out extra space for the new cargo, that meant that the belly section of the ship had to increase in size just a tiny bit.
It also has a ventral size 2 remote tractor beam, which can be accessed from the pilot or co-pilot seat.
And that'll allow you to move cargo freely in and out of the ship. The base version of the ship has these feathers on the wings, which get deployed down when you land, but those are no longer really needed since the functionality is slightly different. And so what we've done now is when you land with this ship, those feathers get tucked up, giving you more space to actually move cargo around the ship freely.
It features 2 size 4 guns under the wings instead of the original 2 size 5 guns, while retaining the remote turret on top with the 2 size 3 weapons.
As the Prowler Utility is a variant of the Prowler, rather than a standalone chassis, it gets to share all the cool paints between both versions. And existing Prowler owners, of course, get to benefit from all the new paints that come with the launch of this vehicle.
We've updated the lighting quite a bit in order to sort of just give a little bit more feedback to the player. We've chosen to really lean into sort of the red lighting that we've been doing on the interior of the Prowler in general and push that to the exterior. And so if you're coming down above someone, you just look like this incredibly aggressive silhouette with red lights flashing everywhere. I think it looks awesome.
Compared to the base Prowler, we have stripped out the lower interior
by removing the main section of drop seats and replacing that with a 32 SCU cargo hold.
And added a sort of clamshell door opening on the undersides to allow easy access to the cargo bay.
It essentially looks like a face hugger, but it face hugs your cargo.
There's a new engineering room on the upper deck, which is previously where a component closet was, and it retains 3 of the 4 jump seats up front in the co-pilot foyer and replaces one of those drop seats with a storage rack for handheld cargo boxes. I'm super happy with how it turned out, and I'm excited to see feedback from players and how they end up using it in the game.
We wanted to try and come up with an arrangement of the cargo hold and the tractor beam in such a way that you could potentially swoop in and grab cargo that maybe necessarily doesn't belong to you My dream would be to just see a bunch of people stealing other people's cargo with this thing in the dead of night and just flying off into the distance without ever landing, which would be super sick.
I'm just super excited that we get to launch a more accessible version of the Prowler, which I think is a fan favorite visually, but has just never had its time in the verse. So hope to see lots of these flying around now.
Okay, I think that was really important to see. It's not just like the 216 SCU containers. You can also put one 32 SCU container. And I might be getting all like my numbers mixed up here. I think that's right. So yeah, the 32 SCU container you can put in there. What did we just watch? I want to make sure I'm not lying to you. Hold on.
Visually, but it's just...
Yeah, what is that? What is that right there? Boom. It's the longer box. It's not a 32 SU. I think it's like a 16 SU.
Which I think is a fan favorite visually, but has just never had its time in the verse. So hope to see lots of these.
Which makes sense.
Now.
2 16 SUs. Math is sometimes hard to math. Yes. So you have 32 total SCUs. And so you can put a 16 SCU on one side and a 16 SCU on the other. There we go. Listen, cosmetically, aesthetically, like this is a very sexy ship. Like they've done an amazing job making this thing feel alive. Like when the cargo doors open, that claw motion, like they were talking about, like gorgeous. The lighting, amazing. It's one of the best lighted ships or lit ships in the game. I love the red lighting. And again, going on to a Prowler base version and just being in the red lighting of the interior is just an incredible experience. So putting this into a cargo variant, it's fine. But for somebody who loves cargo hauling, not necessarily the piracy game loop, but for somebody who really loves cargo hauling, like you just can't do much with only 32 SCUs. So it's probably not for cargo hauling. You're probably not going to be doing those missions, but I don't know. I don't know what else you'd be using it for if you're not into the Pirate at Sea gameplay, which is kind of unfortunate because again, they did a really good job on this ship. Okay. We have a little bit more time left. My dog scared the crap out of me. He's standing at my door, and I didn't expect to see a moving figure at 6 o'clock in the morning. Here's the Prowler Utility page. So there is all the information you could possibly hope for about the ship. It gives pictures, videos, its place in lore. It throws out a little story as well. It says advanced hauling. Like, I don't know. It has a tractor beam, I guess. But it doesn't really get into the Q&A. There's a whole other page for that. But come here to find your specs, find out which paint you really want to purchase. Some good images here. Silverado is the concierge paint. So if you're a concierge member, it's the typical blacks, grays, gold paint or livery. But yeah. I mean, I don't know. The page doesn't really give me much more information than that video did. So that 4-minute video gives you everything you could possibly want to know about this ship. So what we'll do is we'll come to the Q&A section here. It talks about the stealth. It talks about here. Okay, this is what we were talking about, right? With 32 SCU of cargo capacity, what container configurations can I use on each side of the ship? For example, would 32 by 1 SCU or 2 by 16 SCU boxes work? Yes, both cargo grids are designed to support all size containers up to 16 SCU. So both examples are valid. There you go. All right. Does the utility variant have the same limited quantum fuel capacity? Right? The utility variant currently features a slightly larger quantum fuel tank. I talked about the stealth. Where's that stealth comment? It was saying, maybe I already passed it. Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. This is the very first Q&A. So basically it is stealthy, but it's not as stealthy as the military variant, right? Of course, the military variant would have more or have a lower signature than the utility. So that kind of makes sense as well. I thought that was kind of important to know. The unique features, obviously it has the tractor beam, it has the stealth, right? So if you want to have that kind of profile in mind, this is the ship for you. Yeah. Again, that positioning of the tractor beam, I don't know. I'm not trying to be immature about this. It's just a funny, that was a choice, right? That was a choice. I'm sure it was discussed. And that's it, guys. I guess my question for everybody is, how important is the size of the SCU? I think the overall ship looks great. I think the functionality is, it's fine. It's fine. But is this a ship for you in your current way you play? Or is this only a ship that's for that smuggler, that pirate game loop? I don't know. Maybe it will have that place in the verse. Let me know your thoughts. But as we wrap up this episode, again, all the things we discussed at the top of the show, if you want to become part of the conversation, you can do so at responding to our Q&A on Spotify, sending a comment through Spotify, emailing us at contact@beyondtheversehq.com, all of which informs us at the podcast and allows us to discuss your thoughts, feelings, emotional outbursts about the verse and everything else. So please do so. We talked about the giveaway. So beyondtheversehq.com/giveaway. Go participate, become eligible. I would love to give this to you, right? If you want to give to the Extra Life Endeavor, our philanthropy for this year, you can also do so at beyondtheversehq.com/give. But guys, I hope this finds you well as we get into 4.2. It'll be out before our next episode. Can't wait to discuss thoughts, feelings, reactions to 4.2. But until then, safe travels as you traverse beyond the verse. Take care, everybody.